All right, I think we're ready to go. Welcome to the call, everybody. I'm Jennifer Merrill, part of the Power 2 team. I have my sponsor, Pete Delmonico. I have Michelle Filback, I always say your name wrong, and David Wishkobe on the line, a couple of my rock stars there. You know, I just want to update you guys on what's been going on the past week. I've kind of disappeared a little bit for you guys, and I'm really sorry about that. But in the past week, I've been loading a team in to the business because it has been very exciting. It's been a lot of hours. But, you know, I want to talk about focus because, you know, without focus, these people wouldn't be joining our organization. Without focus, I wouldn't have been able to promote the fact that in 7 days of, you know, our team unifying together and working together, we would not have been able to post almost $13,000 in earned commissions, and that wasn't all of them. I couldn't fit all the checks in. And then the day after we did that, we had actually yesterday had another 3 people earn $1,500 commissions as well. So if I really did my math, in the last 8 days, our company on our team alone has generated at least $20,000 in earned commissions. Now, that takes a lot of focus, and it takes a lot of drive, and it, you know, I personally am putting in 20 to 21 hours a day to help this team out. That takes focus. All right, so I want you guys to understand that you guys do not have to do what I'm doing. I chose to do this, but you know, I have my leaders here that are earning income because they are focused. There's a lot. I yesterday alone was pitched 3 different opportunities that were all different, and I'm like, you guys are my friends. Do you not see my wall? I mean, I am very focused on what I'm doing. Maybe you should see what I'm doing. I've been here 16 months. Maybe you should see what we're doing over here. You know, I'm over 19,000 members. I think, Pete, you're about 25,000 members now. And, you know, it's been a really great experience here at an Ingreso. So with that said, I want to pass the call over to Pete first because it was his idea to kind of get this call rolling today. So go ahead. Take it away, Pete.
All right. Yeah, congratulations to everybody. David had a multiple $1,000 day. Michelle had an incredible Sunday the other day. Jen's been working really hard and keeping everybody organized and really pushing the envelope of what's possible here at Ingreso. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
you're good,
perfect.
Honey.
And, you know, just love everybody on our team. We got good people. We got a, you know, good positive energy every day. And it's just been really fun, and you know, I'm really grateful because you know I've been doing this for 16 months. I've been paid every single day since I joined, and it's, you know, it's the most exciting time at Ingreso right now because a lot of the other programs out there have proven to be unworthy and not lasting, and a lot of people have come back that were in Ingreso before. We got a lot of new people. I think just this year alone, I've added like 1,775 people to my team, and it just blows me away. I think the main thing, you know, with Ingreso, because of the way the momentum works and the leverage works, is to really just, you know, come out of the gate really, really strong. You can put a really strong effort in for 60 or 90 days, and it's going to pay off for a long, long time. You know, I've been working in Ingreso, like I said, for 16 months, but the work I did the first, you know, couple weeks continues to pay off. And for Jen and Michael and David and Michelle are seeing the same result. So the unilevel is incredible. The instant commissions are incredible. The products are incredible. We just keep adding more. And you just have to be focused and just, you know, just powerful for a few weeks or a few months, and you'll really see a substantial residual for yourself like we have. I never even had 1,000 people under me in a program before I joined Ingreso. So it's not me, it's the power of this program. You know, it's not David or Michelle or Jen. It's the combination of our hard work and the leverage that this program creates. You know, our CEO is not only one of the greatest people I've ever met, but he, you know, made millions in this kind of comp plan. And I honestly, in my heart, believe this is the most powerful comp plan out there. Some people don't get it. Some people talk smack about it, but you know, it's math. And if you work hard, this, you know, in my opinion, again, blows everything else away. Not that we're in a competition with other things, but we want to, you know, we want to seek out the highest and best. You know, especially when we're sharing with others, because, you know, we want people to spend time with their families and their friends and things like that. We don't want people working 10 or 12 hours a day. And, you know, I've never been a person to do that, and I've never wanted that. You know, I wanted to get in this industry to have freedom and be able to go and do things and go on trips and stuff like that and not stress out that my business is collapsing. And you know, Ingreso has proven to me time and time again that I can go to England or go to, you know, New York or whatever, and it's just going to keep, you know, producing for me, and I can step right back in and crush it whenever we want, you know. Woke up yesterday to a nice $1,500 check, a couple hundred from Unilevel, and then saw my teammates. Earl followed, you know, literally 10 minutes after me. He got a $1,500 check. You know, David got one. Michael got one. You know, Jen's getting them. It's just crazy. Michelle, you know, like I said, on a Sunday, made a bunch of money. And my experience in internet marketing prior to Ingreso was the weekends were just ghost town. You know, nothing going on, no money coming in. You know, couldn't wait till Monday to get back to work. Then everybody complained about Monday, and then it ended up being Tuesday. But with IC, you know, it's just the opposite of that. It's hot on Fridays, you know, Saturdays, Sundays. You can make money every single day of the week with this program. And, you know, we've got car bonuses for you. We've got contests. We've got vacations. We've got computers. You know, we've got team contests and bonuses. You know, we've got people in our downline that have made more money than us, which is exactly what you want. Because that proves that it's not about, you know, if you joined last month, it's better than this month. No, somebody that's going to make the most money in this company hasn't even joined yet. You know, there's somebody out there that's going to come in and see this and work, you know, harder than we did and blow it out even harder than we did. And we want that because the tools that are available now for our new members blow away what we had when we joined in November of 2013. And this company's debt-free. You know, we're almost at our 3-year anniversary. We've had big events in Vegas and Miami, down in Colombia, you know, standing room only down there. We've got a huge international support team. You know, the president of our company is one of the biggest Latin American networkers of all time. We've got, you know, who's considered a genius over in you know, the other part of the world, Jatem. I don't even know how to say his name, but he's just a cool guy. And you know, we've got a CEO, like I said, that's made millions in this comp plan. I've done this comp plan twice before. You know, they weren't great programs. They were okay. But I could just tell that the comp plan is just amazing. And this one is that on steroids. So, you know, when my buddy John showed this to me, I was excited. You know, we got going right away. We helped a lot of people have a great Christmas. 2014 was great for a lot of our teammates. And, you know, some people made an extra 10,000. Some people made an extra 100. You know, it doesn't matter. Everybody's different. But I can tell you right now that if you put forth the effort. What's that, sweetie? I can tell you right now that if you put forth the effort. Yeah. What happened?
Okay. No, you froze up for a second. You're good now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can tell you right now that if you put forth the effort and work really hard, you will be a very happy individual. You will be part of something great. You will be appreciated. You will be recognized. You will be encouraged. You will be loved. And you know, a lot of people are looking for that, you know. I mean, some people want to be a part of something. Some people hate their job. They have a tough life. And to be able to plug in to a team like this, to energy like this, to get in the chat room and, you know, hear people that are excited about life, excited about waking up in the morning, you know, that adds a dimension to your life that a lot of people don't have. You know, some people don't have a lot of friends. Well, you know, in Ingreso, we're all friends. You know, you can add hundreds and hundreds of friends to your life by being part of this incredible company. And, you know, thank God for Facebook. I mean, Facebook, you could, you know, that's really the only thing I do is just chat with people. And like Jen said a little while ago, you know, you get hit up every day by people. And a lot of those conversations can be turned around very easily, you know, with the results our team's having, you know, with the social proof we have. And, you know, and a lot of other people just don't have it, you know. So while they jump around and bounce around, you know, we're solid and we're here and we're not going anywhere, and we're going to continue to kick ass and take names, and it's just getting better and better and better. And you can see the checks behind Jen. You know, those checks are, you know, more than double that now. And, you know, it just continues to move along like a freight train. And, you know, not to pick on Jen, but, you know, did you ever make a lot of money in internet marketing before this?
No, I mean, and I'm very honest about it. When, you know, there's actually a lot of new members here, so they don't know my story. You know, when I found Ingreso, Pete knew he was there. I was looking at eviction north of Boston, November 2013, with about 3 feet of snow on the ground, and I was scared to death. I always had a good work ethic. That was never a problem. It was the programs I was in prior to this that put me in trouble. I mean, I was spinning my wheels basically, and I couldn't get anything off the ground. When I found Ingreso, it just made sense. And my first month being here, I made $3,000, and it pulled me out of looking at eviction. You know, the second month I was here, I made $9,000. That was December. I made $4,000 the week of Christmas. Know why? Because my upline said, Jen, you just made, you know, a $900 commission. You should probably go up to the $500. Michael's like, but Christmas is next week. We have kids. And I'm like, you know what? My leaders have what I want. They have freedom. They don't stress about money. They have what I want. So I just went and clicked the button, and I figured, you know what? I'll see a commission out of that maybe in January when, you know, the dust settles from the holiday. Well, that, you know what? I took, for the first time in years, we took 2 days off. The day before Christmas and Christmas Day. The only time we opened our computer was to call Pete on Skype. That was it. And it wasn't about business. We're family now. And I opened my computer the day after Christmas, and I found a $1,500 commission on the 26th of December, and I didn't put one person on that level. That all happened when I wasn't even there. So you have to remember to stay focused and listen to your leadership. If they have something you want, make sure you listen to them, because they know what they're talking about. They're not doing it to hurt you. They're doing it because they know that by not explaining it to you, it will hurt you more in the end. Back to you, Pete.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's review, and we'll move on to the next person. Never had a big team before. Never made money on the weekends before. Never got paid every day before. Never had a lot of success around the holidays before. Never was able to help people below me before. See, before Ingreso, in 2011, I had a program, and I made a ton of money, and I looked back January 2012, and nobody was duplicating. No one was doing what I was doing, and it was a very hollow feeling, and actually made me very, very sad. And I swore that I would, you know, just get out of that, and I did immediately. And, you know, I'd never wanted to be in a situation like that before. The next thing I got in was okay, but it was very, very complicated, very cumbersome, you know, very meticulous, and I'm just not that kind of person. You know, I like to talk on the phone, I like to share ideas, I like to share passion, but I don't want to sit in front of a computer typing every day and figuring out software and, you know, trying all this crazy stuff. And Ingreso software is click, and, you know, it just works. It just, you know, it works fast and it works reliably, and you don't have to connect a million things to use it. You don't have to pay a million fees to use it, which is something else that I had, you know, an issue with in the past. It was like every day I would look, $19 for this, $29 for that, $18 for this. It was like, Jesus, this is nuts, you know. How can other people do what I'm doing and duplicate me when, you know, I know they don't want to spend all this money every month. So, you know, Ingreso's $25 under one roof. You buy the business centers that you want. You have them forever. They create leverage. And, you know, like the $500 level that we busted yesterday, that's like having a lot of money in the bank, because that thing just keeps on trucking along. So, you know, all these things that are in place at Ingreso, I never had before, okay? It ain't me. It's because of this program. It ain't because of Jen that she's got almost 20,000 people. Yes, she works hard. She deserves it all. But it's the combination of that leverage, a great program, and her hard work that amplified what we do. And one last thing I'll share is you don't need a lot of people in this program. You don't need more than a handful of great people like David and Michelle and Jen to build a massive team and have massive success and be very, very comfortable and have this freedom, you know. And that's the most important thing to me. I love the fact that we all have this freedom and we're all building up this freedom, because at some point down the road, that unilevel is going to be so insane for these guys. You know, I think it is for me now, that you know, that is true residual income that you really don't even have an effect on. It just, it is what it is, you know, and you're being compensated for every person that ever joins your organization, whether you brought them in or not, whether you know them or not, whether you interact with them or not. And then all you have to do is be available to help people. Don't try to train people when you're right out of the gate. Let corporate do that. Let the guy that's made millions of dollars in this comp plan do it for you. Let the team calls like we're doing now do the work for you. You know, that's the secret. Prospect all the time until you are comfortable with your income and you feel like you can really share something of value with people. Until then, don't put all that pressure on yourself. Let corporate do it. Let us do it, you know, and just step away and just focus on bringing people in that appreciate what we have here, and then encourage them to do what you've done. And the best way to help your team is to produce. And, you know, people can argue with me all they want, but production shuts everybody up. You know, I can't make any money. Really? Well, how did I make $2,000 yesterday? I don't know anybody. Really? You know, I don't have a list. I don't, you know, have some big massive email list. I just chat with people. Everybody's got a Facebook chat box. Everybody's getting hit up that's in this industry with other nonsense. Everybody has the ability to jump in a chat room and get ideas from people like David and Michelle and myself. And everybody has the ability, like Jen said, if you're not impressed with your sponsor or who you're working with, just reach up a little bit higher. Reach up. We're here. You know, I've never turned down a call from anybody. If you were on my 23rd level and said, Pete, I need help with this, I would not ignore you. I would not avoid you. I would help you because you're part of my family, and I appreciate you. Whether I make $1 or $1,000 from your actions, it's important to me. And you're going to yield about, I think it's about 17% override on anybody you bring into this program, because if you divide 100 by 6, you get, I don't know, 16.777 or something like that. You're going to get that override on every person you bring in forever, whatever they do. And then whatever the people that they show it to, you're going to get a little override on whatever they do, and so forth and so on. And it really adds up. When you get to your 6th and 7th level, you're getting $2 per month per person and $3 on the 7th level per month per person. And, you know, you could have 4,000 or 5,000 people on those levels. I do. So it's real. You know, no BS, no we're going to do this or we're going to do that. And one final thought, the biggest disaster I see in this industry is we're going to be the next Facebook. We're going to be the next YouTube. We're going to be the next big thing. Guys, those things never work. They never work. And I see my friends just flailing around from program to program on some pipe dream. Everything at Ingreso is already being used in the marketplace. It already has those products. We just happen to provide them at a lower cost and a better quality product, in my opinion. And that's the secret. We're not out creating needs. If you got to create a need for something, you're screwed, man. It's so difficult to do that, especially in 2015. You know, 5 years ago when there was the big juice craze and everything like that, you could play upon people's emotions that, oh my God, if your ORAC level is not 4,000, or if you don't have this, you know, a cyberry in your body, then, you know, you're going to die young, you know. And people actually believe that nonsense. But the reality is everything we make is in the marketplace now. It exists. There's a need for it, and you can use it, whether it be domain names, hosting, goal setting, you know, making your own web pages, learning Spanish or Portuguese or English from a live tutor. You know, whatever it is, it exists. There's a market for it, and you can jump right in. You know, we build all our own products, so you own the rights to them. If you wanted to go out and sell them, you know, to customers or whatever, you can do that too. There's like 11 or 12 different ways that you can earn an income here at Ingreso. And I would just advise people to find a few things that we make that you really like. You don't have to master every product day one. You don't have to use every product if you don't want to. If it doesn't apply to you, don't worry about it. Use the ones that make sense. Use the ones that you were using already. You know, eliminate your cost. Get right down to $25 a month to run a business. It's insane. And, you know, we provide everything you could possibly need. And especially the motivation social proof, the camaraderie that comes with working together, and just plug into those things, and you'll have a great experience here at Ingreso. And we hope that you stay with us for years and years and years, because like I said, not having a job, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but not having to have one, even if you have a job and you love it, it's nice to have that secondary income. It's nice to have that stability. It's, with all the things going on in the corporate world, if you were to get axed tomorrow, it's nice to have a fallback plan. And, I had a new guy who drives the truck like 15 hours a day, and he likes his job. He makes good money. He plugged in like a week and a half ago, been kind of busy. Well, he made a $900 commission right away. He's super excited now. He gets it. And, even though he didn't have a lot of time in the beginning, the proof was there because he saw us working hard, and, he was able to benefit from that hard work. And you should never expect, to get things, but the way the Ingreso comp plan works, we really are able to help each other, and that's pretty unique too, without giving away sponsorship, without, stacking or, freebies or PIFs or whatever the heck they call that stuff. We just do it naturally because of the way the comp plan works, and it's just insane. I love it. I love this comp plan. I love everybody at this company, and I love the fact that we're hotter than ever, So I don't see any of my friends on Facebook or anywhere else saying, adding 1,775 people so far this year. Okay, it ain't me. It's the program. It's awesome. It's hot. It's real. It's debt-free, and some of my friends were pitching something a few months ago that went out of business. They were over $15 million in debt. Okay, that ain't a business. That's a disaster waiting to happen. And I'm not picking on any companies or anything like that, but you got to be cognizant of that stuff. You don't want to be in a situation where you're working your butt off, and then it's not you, it's corporate that falls apart, and you're screwed because you have no control over that. So, just be wary of what you're getting into. You don't want to be in a debt situation. You don't want to be in the next Facebook, the next, cable box, the next juice. That kind of stuff is very, very difficult. And believe me, I've tried it. Video email is going to sweep the nation. Well, that was like 4 years ago. I don't see any video email still. Those kind of things, they're just nonsense. So, just be involved in something that's real. It works. People want it now. And you don't have to go out and beg people and convince them that their life sucks if they don't have this one thing or whatever. Because people will resist that. They will fight you, and you will have a very difficult time, convincing people on your soapbox that they need something that they don't want. It's horrible. That's where MLM gets its bad name. It's people pushing things on their family and friends that they don't want. And they just push. And, and then, everybody, NFL, no friends left club. And, nobody wants that. I mean, I've been in Ingreso 16 months. My friends list has gone nothing but up. I got 5,000 with a whole bunch of people waiting. And the other thing is, don't put up with negative people. As soon as somebody's negative or gives you a hard time or insults you, bye. So I would encourage everybody on here to build, that's listening, to build up your friends list. And, right now it's 5,000 on Facebook. That's a great place to be because you can delete people and add people at your leisure. You've got the biggest audience you could have. And then you go out and try to figure out ways to, get exposed to more and more people. My one friend, she just became a celebrity, okay? That means she can never be blocked, never put in jail. She has 50,000 people that like her posts and stuff like that. Just a normal person, and you don't even have to be in a business with somebody like that. You can learn from them, apply those things, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I would encourage everybody else. I mean, Facebook is just a ridiculous goldmine. So is Instagram, so is Pinterest, so is, some YouTube, some of the other things out there. It doesn't have to be Facebook. It could be any one of them. Just get exposure, get in conversations with people. Be happy for them if they're doing well. You can connect with them later. But the reality is, most people are they're really struggling. They don't know what to do. And again, one last final point is that there are so many people that are better at marketing than me, 100 times better, but they make absolute terrible choices as to what they market. And it comes back to bite them in the ass. And then they're, 3-4 months go by and they're back at square one. And I'm not. And I thank my lucky stars that I found this, and I found this great team to work with, and that goes up, you know, above and below, above and below. We just have a great team of people. So, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Pete. So yeah, I mean, there is a lot of stuff that we've been watching, and I tried to warn my friends, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this program, or maybe you shouldn't do that. Sometimes people are like, oh, you just want me to join your thing. No, it's not the case. We do our homework. Pete is Petepedia. He's the Wikipedia of my life, you know, and I'll be like, what is going on with this program? Because, you know, one of my friends is doing it, and you know, he's like, oh, God, you know, this is what's going on. This is what's going on with that. You know, tell your friend to get the hell out of that. And he says it because he cares about people. And that's why I ask him about it, because I care about people. So, I mean, sometimes having a big heart can kind of bite you in the butt, but, you know, it's just like you try to tell them and they think you're crazy, and then all of a sudden their company goes down. You know about their kids. You know about what's going on in their lives. You know how much money they're dumping into it, and then all of a sudden the company's gone, and they're like, oh, my God. So you have to be very, very careful of what you jump into. Now, what I'm finding is a lot of teams are joining my team. I'm dealing with a very large team right now. I know Michelle has a big team that's thinking about joining her organization, and a couple of other people in my organization have teams of people that are starting to join. And you may ask yourself, why? Well, Ingreso has been around for 16 months. Pete and I know. We were there when it came to the USA. We were the ones that got it started here. So we know where it was. We know that it was a 100% website that was in Spanish, and neither of us speak Spanish when it came to the USA. Everything that you see in your back office today, that's all what has happened over 16 months. So, I mean, it's the most amazing opportunity, debt-free. I work with corporate every single day, you know, and it's just an amazing feeling to have that. So just be careful what you get into, and you ask yourself, why are big teams joining IC? It's easy. It's very simple. There's too many shiny balls going on around, you know, Facebook. Everybody wants to be the first one out of the gate, but the problem is nobody's hitting the finish line except for typically people in Ingreso. We're the ones hitting the finish line. Everybody else is like stalled out by the first turn. They're like, you know, I mean, 90 days. I tell my friends, talk to me in 90 days and let me see how you're doing. I'm never leaving IC. I'm never doing anything else, but I want to know where you are in 90 days. And usually by that 90th day, they're not coming back to me. They're not saying anything. I mean, I see programs that were there 90 days ago. I scroll my newsfeed, nowhere to be found.
Can I say something, Jim?
No, yeah, sure, come on in.
No, before Ingreso came to the United States, it was already beta tested and already had a proven track record of success 14 months before it came to the United States.
Right.
And that's the difference.
Yeah, and that's the difference. We don't do startups. We just don't. They just make no sense. What Michael was trying to say is that it had already proven itself. First of all, it did start in 2002. And it had already been a home-based opportunity for 15 months. It had already proven itself before it got here. So when we heard about it and we decided to join it, we knew it was already stable. It wasn't like, oh, it's new to the United States. It's never been a home-based opportunity before. Let's go for it. No. It was already proven to work. You know, it's so important that you guys understand that. There's a lot of shiny objects out there that will take your focus off. You have to be a Clydesdale. You have to put the blinders on, stay focused, because those people that are distracting you are going to just keep distracting you, and they're going to keep distracting you, and they're going to keep distracting you, and next thing you know, you don't know if you're coming or going. So, you know, I just think it's very important for you guys to know that. The next thing I want to talk about, and you see a little girl in the background over there. Hi, honey. That's Michelle and her daughter. And I want to talk about whys. Now, people have been asking me, Jen, why are you working so many hours? Well, first of all, I have a lot of people I want to help. I have a goal of having 24 new six-figure earners on my team this year. I know that. I don't need to write it down. I know that's my goal. Okay, but my other goal is I want to move to San Diego by the end of April. So, you know, so that I give a better life for my kids. so that I can be out where Pete is in the sunshine. I'm sick of New England weather. I'm sick of negative stuff, and I just want to go. So I know exactly what I want, and I know exactly, I've written it down, it's over here, I know exactly what I need to do to get it. So, you know, you guys have to keep that in front of you. So make sure that you do that. Now, I love the fact that Michelle she asked if it was okay for her daughter to be here. My daughter's actually homesick. Michael just had to go pick her up from school. But I said,
well,
absolutely.
what kind of nightmare would that be if you had a job, if your daughter was called from school?
I literally, a half hour before this webinar, the school called. Thank God Mike and I both work from home because I had this webinar. And the school called and said, you have to come pick up your daughter. She has a 103-degree temperature. I went, excuse me? That's why he's not on this webinar. He's with her. And I was like, oh, my God, yeah, well, right away, you know. I would have had to run to a boss, you know, in my past life and go, I need to get off. I got to go get my kids. You know, if I didn't choose to do this industry, I mean, I've always been a stay-at-home mom, but if I had a job, I would have had to go and ask my boss for permission to go pick up my child. And that's just not a life that I want to live. I'm looking right over my computer. I'm watching her rest. I'm watching her sleep. And, you know, and it's a good feeling to have that. It's a good feeling knowing that, you know what, when I'm done with this webinar, I'm going to take a half hour off, and I'm going to go cozy with my daughter because that's what she wanted me to do. So I'm going to do it. You know, so have the why in front of you. And what we're doing, and David is actually the reason why you see his picture, because he's with his daughter. So it's a very family-oriented thing. My kids call Pete Uncle Pete. They love Uncle Pete. He's Superman. You know,
I'm Green Lantern today, but.
Oh yes, you were Green Lantern today. I believe that Michael.
Hey Jen, real quick, talk about how many days in the last 3 or 4 months you would have literally risked your life to go to a job, and how, you know, it's just amazing it is to not have to leave the house when there's 4 feet of snow outside. I mean, everybody knows about this winter that the East Coast has had, and, you know, I mean, I would have worried about you and Mike if you had to go out the door some of the days that you've had. I mean, that's a huge blessing too, you know.
Well, what happened was in January, Michael and I were like, this is great. It's not overly cold, and, you know, there hasn't been really any snow. It's awesome. February 1st hit, and in 21 days we had 8 feet of snow. 8 feet of snow. They had multiple state of emergencies. People were losing, thank God we didn't, but people were losing electricity. Trees were going down. You know, it was just a lot of snow. And, you know, I heard people were outside, and this is so sad, people were outside, like, trying to dig out their cars, getting hit by plows. Plows couldn't see them. They just couldn't see them, and were running people over. It was awful. And we were leaving here one day to take the kids to school because my kids were running late. So we were in the car. I drove up where my complex is. We get to the edge. The snow is so high you can't see around it, so you're edging your way out. And Michael didn't see a car coming. Luckily, they were both really cognizant of what was going on. But we almost got in a head-on collision just leaving here to take my kids to school. It was awful. You know, but luckily, normally 9 times out of 10, we don't have to leave this house unless it's to go to the grocery store. You know, I was watching people dig out their cars, and I'm going, oh my God, they have to drive in this. This is awful. You know, because my rent here, and I hate it here, by the way. I hate this place. My rent is $2,000 a month, and I hate it. I'm going to go to California, live in a house, and I'm going to pay less money, and I'm going to be in the sunshine with Uncle Pete.
Well, I mean, and I don't get any snow where I live. It's beautiful every day, but, you know, I can relate the same way. I got a puppy this, you know, not too long ago, and I take him out for a walk every day, and I swear 9 out of 10 people that I bump into that have dogs, I'll be like, oh, your dog's beautiful, and almost always they'll say, well, it's not my dog, I'm a dog walker. So, you know, something simple like even having a dog is a big pain in the ass when you have a job and you have to pay somebody $25 to walk your dog for a half an hour. And it just breaks my heart because I know that those people would love to spend the day with their dog. I mean, I love my little Freddie. I mean, I would hate it if I didn't see him for 8 hours. He would be crying, and I would be sad. And you know, it's just this freedom that we have here. It's just, I mean, it's so freaking priceless.
And I'm going to get to Michelle, I promise. But Pete, what I find that I love about you, Pete, his wife is from Russia originally, and he just got to have his mother-in-law come out for 3 months solid. At the drop of a hat, he's like, I'm sending my wife and her mother to Hawaii for 10 days. Just went, booked it, said, that's it, go have fun. And for the entire 3 months, his wife and her mother got to hang out together. They got to go to restaurants together. They got to go bopping around together. And he didn't have to worry about it because he's put himself in a position where he doesn't have to answer to anybody. So I just love that. I just love that story. But anyway, so yeah, so Michelle, you're teaching your daughter kind of what it's like. You talk about us all the time. Hi, honey. You talk about us all the time, and so you kind of wanted to let your daughter see the faces behind the scene, I guess.
Exactly. Brooklyn actually called David the other day. I have a little 2-year-old. Most everybody knows, and she called David, and he's like, "Hey, it's Uncle Dave. Are you from Illinois?" And she's like, "No." And he said, "Well, where are you from?" And she said, "My mommy." And you know, like, I love it. I love it. You know, the other day on the Skype call, when everybody was all playing with it, Brooklyn was like all up in the screen in front of me, and everybody was just talking to her. And, you know, she has been contagious 6 weeks. We started January the 3rd. We ended around, you know, mid-February. The kid was contagious. If I had a JOB, I would have been FIRED. You know, there is no doubt, because she was highly contagious, from impetigo to strep, the flu. It was just herpingitis. It's been one thing after the next. And, you know, so skipping over all that, you know, that's one of the benefits here. Brooklyn is, if you ever get a phone call and it's not me talking, you know, she calls the whole team. She has no respect to persons. She just loves it. So you just want to talk to her, because if you don't, she knows how to call you back. She's 2 years old, iPhone fanatic. But, you know, skipping over all that, really, I have so many people come to me and they're like, well, other people are succeeding, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. You guys know I'm not that way. But I tell them all the time, you have got to stay focused. You have got to set this goal. Set it in your head. This is what I'm going to do. And I've told every one of you all, I am walking the stage this year. I will not take no for an answer. It's just not going to happen. And that has been my goal. And it's going to happen. There is no if it happens, when, you know, it's when it happens. And by doing that and staying focused and working with everyone, I have made, what was the grand total, like 3,800 in 30 days. I'm not, and my car bonus can still go up. And it's nothing that I have done except for applying what everyone here has told me to do. And, you know, just because we're not in touch with everyone all day, every day, because it's impossible for us all to call physically everyone on our team, you know, every day, everyone has all of our phone numbers. Y'all know how to get us. You know, we're chatting with everybody, you know, whatever. I have a couple that if I don't hear from them, you know, they don't stress and I don't stress. I know they're working. They know where I am. You know, it may be every other day that we talk, you know, but they know that they can get me. And, you know, even if I'm tied up on a closing call or something else, I know I've got Jen, I've got Mike, I've got Pete, David, Earl, you know, I mean, we have so many we can go to that nobody on any of these teams are going to get left behind. And, you know, it's your business. You can run it however you choose to. You can do that. But, you know, to be successful, you need to follow the suggestions of the successful people in the business, you know, and to know that this team is absolutely coming out on top this year, you know, as a whole. You know, we are going to come out on top. And for anybody to look at me and say, well, we might, no, we are going to come out on top. You know, it's like Earl said earlier, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land among the stars. You know, you have got to think positive, because when you think negative, when you let animosity or jealousy set in, you are your best thinking. And whenever you let that set in, it's dragging you down and you're letting it defeat you. You have got to stay focused on your goal. Turn that animosity and jealousy into drive. Because whenever, I'm not going to lie about it, I let it, you know, I was seeing everybody else flash these checks before I started, and I'm like, when am I ever going to do it? When am I going to do it? And I thought, I can't think that way. I mean, I thought that way for a few minutes, and I just thought, I can't. That's not going to drive me to do anything except dig myself a hole. So I turned it into motivation.
Not to interrupt you, honey, but I'm going to. The thing that they have to understand is that you came into this and you didn't have you're as lovely as your husband is. I'm going to kind of say it because it's important that they know. She had zero support from her husband. He just didn't believe in it. And there's a lot of you out there that will be able to relate to that. He just didn't believe it. He's believing now. You know, he's believing now that it works because he's seeing the success. But, you know, there's a lot of people out there that get into opportunities. I've heard about a girl that just joined our team. A company took her for $26,000. I was like, what?
Unreal.
You know, but a lot of people, yeah, it's crazy. I heard that number. I was falling on my chair. But
good point, though. We started with $150. You work hard, you get commission, you build leverage. This isn't about, you know, wiping out your bank account or anything like that. You work hard, you build leverage, you upgrade, you gain more leverage. You know, you take some profit along the way, and you just keep building up. You know, right now I could have a $40,000 day because of the leverage I built up. And it would only take a handful, maybe 6 people to do it. So, you know, that's the leverage you gain here. But you don't have to do it overnight. You don't have to strap yourself. You know, people could come in with $50 and build it up. It doesn't matter. It's about working hard.
I see your knuckles. But yeah, so this girl though, she came into this and boom, you know, she's just taking off like a firecracker. I'm seeing people that have never made income online before come here and they're like, oh my God, I just earned a commission. You know, and
That's
so
me.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. And, you know, and you didn't have a support system. We were your support system. We were the support system.
There are many days, not to cut you off, but there are many days. I mean, my husband, it came to the point that we just weren't hardly talking. I mean, it got really rough, guys, and only a few here know how rough it got on me, but I could not sit and loathe in that. I had to turn that around. Like, one night, he got really upset and you know, he flipped out. I thought he was just going to like walk out the door. And at that point I was just like, I know this is going to work. And I'm, you know, like I'm trying to like balance and everything. But I turned that into motivation, and I love him to death, but he is so protective of me, you know, and that was what was really scaring him, was that I was getting taken for a ride. You're talking to someone right now who did a couple of affiliate programs before, made about $1,000 online, didn't even start till like mid-November, 1st of December, rolled over into this, and I'm now having a $5,000 month. You know, so whenever someone looks at me and says, I don't take excuses, I don't, you know, and I'm compassionate. You guys know that. But whenever someone looks at me and they're like, my husband isn't supporting me, or my friends aren't supporting me, I don't have time for that. You know, and I talk to them, you know, and tell them a little bit of my story. And I'm like, you know, you've got to use that for you. You've got to use that to work for you. Because, you know, I told Mike and Jen and David and everyone, I was like, you know, whenever I flash this check in front of his face, you know, that's when I know it's going to change. You have to kind of baby the situation in a way, find a great balance, and still press forward. It is just use it for a stepping stone. That's it. You know, you cannot let anyone hold you back. You are the one achieving your dream. You are the only one in charge of your future and your dreams. And if you don't pursue it, nobody else out there is going to. It is your job. That is your job, is to pursue your dreams and think them into reality. David tells me every day, you are your best thinking. You know, and the family environment here is crazy. I called Mike and Jen and David one morning, and I was so upset. And 3 hours later, we're getting off the phone. You know, they just picked me up, swept me up, and was like, it's going to be okay. You know, this morning I called them. I woke up with a huge headache, and I couldn't even think straight. And, you know, they don't care. They care, you know, but they're not upset whenever I'm down. Instead, you know, we all pick each other up, you know, and move on. And it's that for the whole entire team. If you call any of us and you've hit a bump in the road of somebody not supporting you or whatever, I'm telling you what, we have an answer for darn near everything, because we've between all of us, I think we've experienced it. You know, we have people out there that are really successful just working off of their phone. They don't even have a computer. If they can do that and people can do it without any support, you can do it. There's no room for excuses. None. It's a stepping stone. That is it. And you have to remain focused.
And the one thing we always said to you having those hard moments was, remember why you're doing this. And what's the answer?
My family. And what is that what you're asking? My why? Yes, I'm going to better my family's future. And if that means that my cousins or my friends or whoever, as much as I love them, drop off the face of the planet, this is going to sound totally hateful. They do not feed my kids. It is my job to feed my kids and to provide for my family. And it sounds like I'm being hateful, but I'm telling you the truth. You know, David posted something this morning whenever we was all having a little bit of fun on his post, and he's like, well, my aunt may not believe in it or whatever, being a little bit sarcastic. My aunt, my cousin Bob, da-da-da-da-da. I don't give a shit. Pardon my language.
Yep.
Because they do not put food in my fridge. They are not paying my light bill. They are not clothing my kids. That is me. And I can do it however I choose. This is how I choose to do it. So either get on board with me and support me or get out of my way.
Yep. As much as I love my family, I actually deleted some family members because, you know, from my Facebook, I'm like, you know, I know where to find you. We have phone numbers. I know, you know where we go and stuff like that, you know, but I don't need the negative stuff. And sometimes I do it you know.
Yeah. You know, I called Earl yesterday. He just kicked up here on the sidebar, or I had him call me. You know, I just wanted to talk to him for a few minutes, and I love talking. I just love his voice. His accent's just amazing. But, you know, I had a little conversation with Earl, you know, and I was just kind of confused about how I needed to handle something. And, you know, Earl was just reassuring me because I know all this, you know, but still it's nice to have, you know, I talked to Pete yesterday, you know, listened in on a call with him. You know, everyone, it's not me. It's not just me. Because I'm earning. Anyone on this team has all these resources. Send a chat, send something, send a text to someone that you know that can hook you up with them. Because it's not about me. It's not just about you. It's this team as a whole. We all want everyone to provide a better future. We all want to stick our toes in the sand somewhere. And whenever you have that supportive team, it makes it so much easier. You're not in it alone. Whenever I didn't have anyone much supporting me whatsoever, I had this team. And if it hadn't have been for that, I would have given up. I'm not going to lie about it.
And you would have,
you know, if it had been,
that would have been a catastrophe because look at how many people you're helping.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and like I said, just because we're not touching bases every single day, we know where you are. And Jen, along with myself, David, you know, everyone up here, Pete, I'm sure he knows. We know what business centers look like. We know everyone's business centers. We're watching out for your business. So just because we're not on the phone with you 2 or 3 hours a day does not mean that we don't know what's going on with your business.
Yeah, I think this is important. I've already shown you guys. I'm getting feedback from you. I think it's important for people to know when my notebook is. I have a notebook running around here somewhere.
She's going to make me busy.
Oh, you know, I do that. Oh, there it is. It is actually over here.
I love you.
But this is.
I love you.
I love you, too.
This business is so easy, it's unbelievable. I mean, I have like 10 computers. I haven't even turned one on in like months because I can run the whole business from my phone. And we have fun all day. Go look at my Facebook wall. If you think I'm blasting people with links all day, go look at my wall. My business is basically, I'll tell you guys the secret, is saving and posting funny pictures all day long to make people laugh. Me and Michelle laugh all day long. And just connecting and talking to people. I don't blast my links. You know, go look on my Facebook wall. It's just hilarious. It's such an easy business if you're just real and you just show people that you're relaxed and you're not stressed out. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for in life, is to have peace, to be not stressed out, and to have fun. And that's what we do. We just have fun all day long. It's amazing.
This is
from a phone, not from a computer, from a phone.
Yeah, I know. He's bopping around San Diego, constantly sending me pictures. This has been my last 9 days. This is what I do every single day. it takes focus, guys. You got to know where you're at, what your goal is. You know, be honest with yourself. If you're not looking to help other people, this is not an industry for you. I actually had a couple of people that I talked to, and I said, I'm not signing you up. I did the last 2 days. I said, I'm not signing. Your mindset is completely wrong. You're all about yourself, and you don't want to work. Why would I sign you up for anything?
Right. You know, David, he works from his phone all the time, too. We were talking the other day, and he said he hadn't opened up his laptop in God knows how long, you know. And I love it because you guys always say, call me anytime, day or night. What time did I call you guys last night, Jen? What time did I call Mike last night? Like midnight?
I don't know. Let's put it this way. All I know is today was the first day I've looked in the mirror in 9 days. And clocks, yeah, outside of waiting for this thing, I have no idea what time anything is anymore. It's been crazy. I was going to pull up on my phone died, and there it is. My phone is dead. David, what did you say about that the other day? You know, if your phone's not on 4%, well, dead.
If your phone's not on 4% battery by 10 o'clock in the morning, you're not working hard enough.
I mean,
charge mine 3 times a day. 3 times a day I have to charge my phone. It's because of David. He won't leave me alone because, you know, he came up the other day. He messaged me, or we was talking the other day.
He's like, charger now.
Girl, he's like, girl, you're about to outrun me. I was like, well, get with me. I'll teach you a few things.
This is what I love this because my kids, they always want to be with me, and look at them. They sticker my phone up. They sticker my computer. The back of my computer is all stickers. It's like crazy. But yeah, so I mean, it does take focus. You have to know what you're doing. You know, so what my main thing is I don't want to call. Oh God, I'm going to be back again. Michelle, honey, mute up for a second. I think it's from you. There we go. Okay, so the main thing is here is that, you know, I want to make sure because we are having such rapid growth that you guys remain focused. You have to have a 12-month game plan, a 30-day, a 60-day, a 90-day, 120-day, and a whole year. You have to have those. This is what I want to achieve, kind of a mindset. It's all about mindset. I do not work with people with bad mindsets. I don't do it. I don't care if you're on my team or not. If you have a bad mindset, I am not your girl. Go find somebody else. We all have different personalities. I am just way too busy to be sitting there and dealing with a negative mindset. I don't have time for it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You know, but I am very blessed, you know, almost all but 2 people I've talked to in the last 9 days are really excited. They're excited to start their future. They've heard about the company. They like the fact that we have 10 ways to get paid. They like all these different things. And, you know, and it's been a very nice transition for them. You know, and so, you know, that's the IC Diamonds team that we just launched. You know, we have multiple teams in here. We have Team Freedom Bound. We have Team Vision. We have Easy Money team. You know, we're the Power 2 team. You know, we're all underneath, you know, Mr. Delmonico over there. Team Delmonico, I guess. You know, but we're a family. And we're here to protect you. And sometimes I'm going to say something you don't like. It's just a reality. But I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it because I care. And I've seen too many of my friends go into financial crisis from being in the wrong programs. And this is a good program, and it's pulling a lot of people into a lifestyle that they wanted for a long time and that they deserve, that they work for. So, David, I want you to close it out for me real quick. I want to go check on my daughter, so I'm going to scoot up. I'm going to throw my picture up real quick. I want you to talk about, you know, why people should listen to this, because you've done this. You've never fought 1 inch of guidance, and why that they should stay focused and listen to what the leaders are saying and what you've experienced through that. So I'm going to mute my stuff out real quick, and you go ahead, take it away, baby.
I can say that in two sentences. They have what I want, so I'll do what they did.
Elaborate.
You want me to go?
Say whatever you want. You're the king of words.
This industry is really got a weird way of helping a person change their mindset around. You know, my experience has always been, my parents owned restaurants. I started waiting tables by the time I was 15. I kind of played the employee role under the employer. So as I had the employee mindset, I got to watch the employer, and he had a completely different mindset, which is why he was on top of, on top of his company while everybody else was underneath him working for him, so he can go to the golf course whenever he wants. He could do whatever he wants. The job market was never designed for the average person to get ahead. It's designed for people with an entrepreneurial mindset to obtain the lifestyle and the freedom that they want to have. Because you work 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire on 40% of what's not enough to live off in the first place. You go to work to pay for the car, to get to work. You go to work to pay for the house that you never get to spend time in because you're too busy working for it. And I seen this firsthand with the people that my father had working for him. They couldn't stand their jobs. He tried to teach them different ways to come ahead and be like, look, take the training and the stuff that you get here and apply it in other areas of your life and go build yourself some freedom. But they got stuck and sucked into that redundantness. The world will keep your head spinning. You really have to, you got to take a look at your situation, and it has to come from within inside. Am I really sick and tired of living the way that I'm living? And I can't tell you if you're sick and tired or not. But what I've noticed about people is their words don't exactly match their footsteps. I talk to 100 million people all the time, and they always say, man, I'm sick of this. I can't get out of the situation I'm in. But then you give them a solution, and their actions completely go against the solution that you gave them. And what I've learned in the industry is about opportunity, not only the industry, but life itself. Opportunity has a way of presenting itself. It doesn't always show up with a bow and a ribbon. That stuff comes through the back door so many times. So when I'm talking to people that are really scared, and I have a lot of empathy, and I feel bad for them because they are scared, and I know what it's like to be scared and not put food in the fridge and not being able to pay the bills with kids and Christmas coming. But they pray and they pray for an opportunity to come knocking on the door, but the world has them so skeptical and fearful that when it shows up, because it didn't show up with a bow and a ribbon, the fear, they slam the door in its face. They don't even know that they missed it. Then they go back on the couch and they say, man, God, would you please present me an opportunity? And it's really funny how that happens. So it's about doing what the people above you did. There's two ways to operate. There's my way, and there's the way that works. And I'm not just talking about in business. When I look at what I've done through my whole life and I've operated the way that I wanted to operate, it's ended in chaos and destruction. When I operate the way I see successful people operating, not only in business, but even in everyday life, taking care of my family and things like that, then I obtain success. So I don't have to have all the answers, and what a great relief that is to not have to know everything. If I could be coachable and humble, which is very difficult for most people to do because pride runs most of people's personalities, if I can remain coachable and humble, then I can get some results. Until then, I'm spinning myself in circles. Any conversation I have, whether it's a negative-minded person or a positive-minded person, has its purpose, because even if I'm just there to plant the seed in them, for them to become successful, it doesn't even necessarily have to be in my business. Just for me to be able to plant the seed and watch them turn their life around is my motive and my drive. When I first started in the industry about 4 years ago, my motive was money. I needed it. I was without a job. The economy caused my parents to close their doors. I've been serving tables for 15 years, under the table. I got paid under the table, man. My parents owned a mom and pop shop. That money is really great when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, don't have no bills, and you're making $120 to $150 a day. But I couldn't see the bigger picture. So I dropped out of high school. I'm 15, I'm making $150 a day. I don't need no education. But there I was 15 years later with no education, no benefits, no money, a handful of obligations that I needed to take care of. Really just, what do I do next? What do I do now? And my mindset was so down when I first joined this industry because I didn't understand or know how to turn it around. Mike kind of told me when I talked to Mike, he says, Dave, you don't have $175 to start a business? And I got mad at him when he told me what he told me. I said, no, man, I got bills to pay. I got to put food in the fridge. He says, do you have a television? I said, yeah. He said, you need to pawn the television. And I'm like, what? If you don't have $175 to start a business, you don't have time to watch TV. And I said, who the hell do you think you are? And I hung the phone up on him. But more importantly, I went back and I sat down on my couch and I looked my kids in their face. And at that point, I guess you can call it a moment of clarity, it really came over. What is important to me in my life? What is important? and I don't even know how to change it. I just hit the moment of clarity, like what is important. Everything in my life that I thought was working, the evidence showed differently, was not working. And I got to look at reality in the face. I had one of two options at that point. I could say, well, you know what? I could get really prideful and screw that guy. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Or I could humble myself and call him back and say, you know what, Mike? How did you do it, man? I'm ready to learn. Teach me step by step. And when these people on this team, go ahead, Jen.
The one thing I want you to understand, you guys know I'm the computer girl. You rarely see Michael post on his Facebook. Actually, he went onto his Facebook yesterday. He's like, oh, God, I am now the poster child of Ingreso Cybernetico because everybody tags him and everything. And he just doesn't post. I'm like, you need to go throw something on there, honey. Like, let them know you're alive. And but he's the phone guy. And you don't know how many times a day I hear that somebody doesn't have $175 to start a business. It is sad. It is so sad. You're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s years old, and you don't have $175 extra in your pocket to start a business. Doesn't that scare you? What if you couldn't go to work for a week? What are you going to do? And that's why Michael says it. If you have a PlayStation and you don't have $175, you better go and pawn that thing. And let's get moving. You can buy 100 PlayStations down the road. You don't need to be playing video games. You don't need to be watching TV. It's negative anyway. You know, I have my TV going in the background, but it's either The Secret or Shark Tank or The Prophet or cartoons for my kids. You know, I don't watch it. I'm working, but I need the background noise. But if you have all these toys and you don't have any money in the bank, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because reality is going to come and slap you in the head and go, you know what? You have an opportunity to not only change your life, but you have an opportunity to go out and change other people's lives. I could sit back and let my team go to work right now. I have full capability of that. I know that I could do that, but I'm not going to because I'm not done yet. I have more people to help. I have more people's lives to change. And that's why when I said I'm going to say stuff that people don't like, but you're going to have to understand I say it because I love people. But I'm so sick of the excuses. I'm sick of people sitting there going, I don't have, when, you know what? Yes, you do. You have an opportunity to fix it. It's very simple. We are solid. We have a good team here. We have the support system you need. I have 100 training videos sitting on YouTube that can help you. I may not be able to physically stop my day to help one person right now, but you know what I have? A YouTube channel. And every single video that I have on that channel is related to this business and how you can make it work. I have experts on every single one of them. I never do a webinar alone. I always have an expert at something on one of those webinars. So the excuses are off the table. We just need to find a way to stop the excuses of money not being in our pocket and getting it out. And because scared money makes no money, first of all. But get the money on the table and get to work.
Let me interject with a little mathematical equation. Zero plus zero is zero. All day, every day. I don't care if you're in Russia, China, Germany, New Mexico, the United States. If nothing goes in, nothing can be paid out. So I guess the whole topic on this webinar originally was the shiny new objects. Come join this business for $1. Okay, I put $1 in. You expect me to make $50,000 out of that? How long do I need to work to do that? How many people is that going to take? Yes, it costs money to join Ingreso Cybernetico. You have to invest. You have to invest not only monetary, but non-monetary things. My fiance went to bed many of nights by herself because I was building relationships with people. My little daughter Zoe, bless her heart, she's taking a nap now. She's ran around the house many a times looking at me, playing with her toys like, Daddy, when are you going to come play with me? And I had to say, not right now, baby. I'm networking. And I'm doing this now so that way I can have that with you later. Because I'll be damned if I go through all of this sacrifice for nothing. To not make it work. To throw my hands up 3 feet shy of the gold mine? I don't think so. So now that it's come around, yeah, it's caused chaos in my relationships when I first started. Caused a lot of chaos. Ashley, are you coming to bed? Are you going to work your whole life? And I'm like, Ashley, you just got to trust me on this one. In a few months, we won't be sitting in this position anymore. And regardless if I got her support or not, I was going because this is my passion and my dream. I would never keep her from her passion and her dream. And once that starts happening, it's time to separate. Because I understand the difference between assets and liabilities. A liability costs you, an asset makes you. So if I got somebody in my life who's not supportive or won't come around, and I'm trying to follow my dream with my right motives, I got to kick them to the curb, regardless of how I feel about it. And I'm not saying for anybody to go get a freaking divorce or whatever the case may be, but you can completely separate yourself to take on your passion, regardless of how anybody else feels about it. Jen, you've been working with me for a long time, and you know what I went through with non-support. Through the people I thought, forget the spouse. I have my mother and father in my ear, even when I was becoming successful in producing checks. The internet is not like it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You know, I remember being on AOL 2.0 on Napster, downloading a song that took me 38 minutes to get one song. When the internet was brand new and people knew nothing about it, absolutely you could scam people out of money because people's ignorance allowed other people to do that. We're sitting here 15 years later with, as far as technology came, I mean, TVs don't even run as many commercials anymore because they know everybody's on the internet. So the concept of you can't make money online, you need to kick that to the curb. This is the new generation. Everything, there's 1 billion people on Facebook. You don't think that somebody's going to put their products on Facebook to try and capture that market? So anybody can come online and make money if you have the right mindset, you're working with the right people, and most of all, you have enough faith in yourself to do it. Because this is no more than creating belief in people. It's not the money, it's not the checks. If I can make Michelle believe that it's possible, people fight to the death for what they believe in. And that's all it is. How do I make Michelle believe? I have to produce evidence. I can't just say, hey, Michelle, you should believe. Michelle, watch me show you how to make a $900 check. That $900 check hits her bank account. Now she wants to go help other people become believers. So once I do that, once I've created enough believers, I can take my foot off the gas a little bit and enjoy what I've done, why I've started building this industry.
Right.
Because it's going to keep, there's two ways to operate. You can recruit or you can duplicate. And if anybody's a marketer, you know that rat race of recruiting. I can stick 100 people in my organization. If none of them can duplicate, I got to go for another 100. Then I might as well go a bunch of time clock because I'm working just as hard. I would rather find 2. 1 Michelle, 1 Jen, 1 Pete, 1 Mike, 1 Elisa, 1 Emily, 1 Devin, 1 Dana, any of them. If it took me a whole year to get them, I don't care. Because I know once I have that person, then they're going to duplicate my organization, because this whole thing is about time freedom and financial freedom. That's it. People come to working online because they want time with their family and they want enough money to be able to do that. You might have some more whys on why you joined, but let's go create that. How do you create that? Is by helping other people obtain that. When it's all about me, I've already seen what being all about me has done to my life. So, positioning. You wanted me to talk about following what your sponsor tells you to do and why it's important. It's important because I don't know how to do this. So I put my money out there into something I have absolutely no idea how to do. I have to listen to people that know how to do it. If I had not made $100,000 in a year, odds are whatever they tell me is not going to make sense, because if it made sense, I would have made $100,000 in a year. So it's not about it making sense. It's about do it, because then when you start producing the results, you're like, oh, that's why. Because chemistry ain't going to make sense to you if you've never done chemistry before, but once you start to learn about it and the professor says, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, then you're like, okay, now I understand chemistry. This is an industry all in itself to help average dropouts of high school like myself obtain what the world tells me that I can't have. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm going to share my story on stage. I'm not going to share it here, but if I can do it, anybody can do it. And you really got a team of people that care about you. It's not so much that, I shared earlier, my motive is not the money anymore. It was when I first started. I'm not even going to lie. I had no money. I had bills. I had kids. But throughout my time working online, I make money. Money's not my motive. When I could take people like Michelle, who's brand spanking new into the industry, and help her make $4,000 in 7 weeks, she's on her way to going across stage with us. When I could take single moms whose baby daddy left them and show them there's another way, even the old couple who's living off a check and it ain't enough to afford the toilet paper they use for the month, when I could show them there's another way, if you could just humble yourself and follow direction, then I get to lay my head on my pillow peacefully at night and go to sleep. knowing that I'm making a difference in other people's lives, because this world will eat you up and spit you out and not give a damn that you can't pay your bills. It takes a certain group of people to care about other people to make a change. And people are really confused about what it takes to touch 1 million people. People think they got to be like Dr. Martin Luther King and stand up in front of a crowd of millions of people to touch 1 million people. That's not the case. All I got to do is help 2, then I got to help those 2 help 2 apiece, and ultimately I'll obtain the same exact result working with a couple of people. And that's what we're about here. We follow people who know what they do, so when we do what they did, we get what they got.
Excellent. All right, guys, so we've been in here for about 1 hour and 10 minutes, which is a little longer than we usually do. We usually do 1 hour. But, you know, it is about focus, and I think that you've gotten a lot of different perspectives on it. And why, you know, you should be focused. So you have an excellent opportunity here in Ingreso. We're very pleased to have all of you here with us. And, you know, let's just lock arms and just go for it. You know, just wait till you see that day that you get to walk that stage. I mean, I've said it before in my webinars. I mean, yeah, walking the stage is awesome for me. But you know what? I'm going to watch David go up there and tell his story. I'm going to watch Michelle go up there and tell her story. And I'm going to cry like a baby because I was there through it all. And I do. I have a tendency to tear up when the checks start getting presented. But it's just because I'm very proud of what has happened. I already had I have six-figure earners on my team. But to be able to go, my goal this year is to get 24 more. And I already know who a handful of them are going to be, you know, that's a pretty wild thing, because knowing that you come from no money to 6 figures, it's a very humbling thing. So with that said, I'm going to well up because I'm tired.
Can I interject with one last thing, Jen?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what, guys, more than the money, the investment I made, once I had, you know what I said, I'm going to do this, I believe I can do this, and that became a real belief. The money was just something, money was no longer the number, because once I put the belief in myself that I could do it, the resources to do it presented themselves.
Yeah. So
if the money is the factor, for a lot of people it is, whatever it costs, whatever you want to come in at, which we can talk about leverage later, $50, $100, $175, work on your self-confidence, and then that won't be a factor anymore. And that's it. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome. And thank you guys all for showing up today. And, you know, this will be on my channel as well for those that had to drop off that couldn't stay the whole time, and those that were at work and couldn't see it in the first place. So I'll talk to you guys later, and, you know, stay blessed and just go out and bless some more people.